Okay, today the fairy tale that we'll be reading is The Princess and the Pea. The Princess and the Pea. Once there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess. However, she had to be a real princess, and nothing less would do. Princesses of all kinds traveled from neighboring kingdoms to meet the prince. For one reason or another, the prince did not believe that the young women were truly princesses, and he sent them all away. The queen, who was the prince's mother, offered to help. "Let me talk to the princesses," she said. "I will find out if they're real." The stubborn prince shook his royal head. "No, mother," he said. "I must find out by myself." Finally, no more princesses came to the palace, so the prince decided to go on a journey. "If I must, I will search the world over for a princess," said the prince. "We will miss you," said his father sadly. The queen just waved goodbye, shaking her head over the whole business. The prince traveled to France. There he was introduced to La Princesse Mirabelle, who lived in a huge chateau. "Enchanted to meet you," said the lovely princess as they sat to have tea. Please pardon the French. I do not have a really good French accent, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Okay, back to the story. During the tea, Princess Mirabelle ate 9 chocolate truffles. The prince was shocked. He was sure that a real princess would never eat 9 chocolate truffles in a row, and so he bade Mirabelle adieu. Adieu? I'm assuming said goodbye. The prince traveled and traveled until he came to Arabia. There he met a great pasha's daughter, Princess Morgiana. The prince went riding with Morgiana, and she rode very well, but the princess did not ride side saddle, which was the ladylike custom. "Morgiana sits on a horse like a man," said the prince to himself. "Surely she's not a real princess. I must take my leave." Finally, the prince arrived in India. There he met the daughter of the great Raja. As they spoke together, Princess Indira reached for grapes from the fruit bowl. The prince sighed. "The princess did not ask for a servant to peel the grapes before she ate them," he said to himself. "Surely she's not a real princess. I will have to say farewell." The prince returned home, looking most unhappy. He told the king and queen that he could not find a real princess anywhere in the world. "I'm so sorry, my boy," said the king, trying to comfort his son. The queen just shook her head and wondered if the day would ever come when her son would ask for help. One night soon afterward, there was a terrible storm. Lightning flashed through the castle, and rain poured down on the rooftops. As the king was crossing the great hallway, he heard a knock at the door. "Who's there?" he called, going to open the door himself. There stood a beautiful young woman, soaked from head to dainty toe. "Won't you come in?" said the king. "You are most kind," said the dripping girl. "I have lost my way in this storm. My name is Princess Candace Alicia Royale." The king hurried the princess inside and then sent for the prince to come and meet her. The prince thought Princess Candace was charming. "But how can I be sure that she's a real princess?" he whispered to his father. "Perhaps you should ask your mother," said the king. As he whispered back, the prince agreed and went at last to ask his mother for help. The queen liked the girl immediately. "You poor tired thing," she said to the princess. "Won't you stay the night?" When Candace Alicia agreed, the queen went to prepare a bed for her. First, the queen ordered the servants to strip the princess's bed. Now we shall find out if Candace Alicia is a real princess, said the queen, and she carefully placed a single pea. If you notice, I have a little pea over here, a little fake pea, a green pea, said the queen as she carefully placed a single pea in the center of the bed frame. Do you guys see the little pea she's placing there on the bed frame? Really tiny. After that, the queen ordered the servants to pile 10 thick mattresses on top of the bed and 10 heavy quilts on top of the mattresses. Then a servant went and brought the princess. Your bed is ready, my dear, said the queen. I do hope you will be comfortable. Now I want you to think, if you were to sleep on this bed, do you think you could feel a little green pea? Think how soft and squishy they are. That night, the princess was not comfortable. Hour after hour, the exhausted creature tossed and turned. Oh me, oh my, the princess moaned. To help herself sleep, the princess tried counting castles. She tried counting handsome princes too, but nothing helped Candace Alicia to fall asleep. The next morning, the queen invited the princess to breakfast. My dear, did you sleep well? She asked, holding her breath for the answer. I scarcely slept at all, Candace Alicia replied wearily. I lay on something so hard that I am black and blue all over. The queen looked surprised, but she could not have been more delighted. The queen quickly told the prince what happened. Candace Alicia is a gem, she said at last. Anyone delicate enough to feel a pea through 10 quilts and 10 mattresses is a real princess. The prince was relieved. He smiled warmly at Candace Alicia. Before the day was over, he and the princess were in love. Close your eyes. Before a month had passed, the young couple was married. The royal wedding was a dazzling affair. The king's subjects loved their new princess. They also loved the story of the princess and the pea and told the story to their children for many years to come. As for the pea itself, it was put on display in the Royal Museum. You may see it there still, if someone hasn't taken it. And that, of course, is a true story.